us are hitting 240, or are hitting 0 and he's hitting 240?
That's quite likely.
John sent a text message that says he can hear and see all of us, and that he is using TELUS, not Hamline.
John, if you can hear and see all of us and you wish to participate in the meeting if we can't hear you, then just participate by using the Dilworth repeater.
V7 Juliet Whiskey's here monitoring the ham meeting tonight.
We heard you just fine, John.
Okay, thanks. I can't get this Jitsu thing working on either computer, on downloading the app, going through the link, checking all the servers, nothing works for me.
See you now, John.
But your radio is working fine, John. So see us, you can hear us, we can hear you. What could be better than that?
We all get a new radio?
Or a new computer.
Wow, I think we'll actually have a quorum when Brian shows up. Oh, Brian's here now. We need one more person.
John? John?
What is it? If you leave the mic muted, but just press the space bar, is that how it overrides?
Yeah, space bar is push to talk. So just like a radio.
How does that work?
What a novel ID.
Hey, Stephen, this morning, Westside meet we had, Jitsi worked a lot better than it has in the past with those settings that you changed.
That is great to hear. We managed to adjust the video quality a little bit, and we fixed some other issues too on the server.
So
Actually, overall, it's been working a lot better since we fixed that routing issue too.
Yes,
That's
I'd agree
nice
with
to
that,
hear.
Darcy. I think that's what fixed the majority of it.
but I'll tell you, just sitting here, I'm seeing the people's faces blink in and out. They still have a connection, but it goes from the logo screen to their face and then back again, and it doesn't bother me, but it's happening.
Yeah, I think Jitsi tries to do some bandwidth management when you're not talking. Sometimes it cuts your video off.
Every time I go to change the sprinkler, I do the video and then go change the sprinkler and come back in and unmute it.
Okay. Sprinkle away, that's all I can say.
I know it's supposed to rain on the weekend, but underneath my pine trees, they get awfully dry.
I think that's the trouble, isn't it? That you either have trees or you have lawn. The two don't seem to mix.
I'm doing my best to counteract that, Brian.
Now we all press the space bar and talk at the same time and move in our videos. See what bandwidth we can use.
This is Victor Alpha 7 Romeo Golf Mike. Just letting you know that we're about to start the OCARC net If there's anybody on the repeater that is going to be participating in the meeting via the repeater, please come now.
This is VE7H.
E7 Juliet Whiskey Sierra logging in.
Connected to 623.
Thank you, John.
B7EQM has a question.
Go ahead.
What's the name of the room?
The name of the room is OCARC meeting.
Okay, I'll give it a try.
Thank you.
Victor Echo 7, Mike Sierra.
Victor Echo 7, Mike Sierra Sierra. Are you watching the Jitsi room, or are you just following on the repeater?
I don't get it.
So you're not seeing the connection if you go to ocarc.ca/live?
Negative. It tells me he's disconnected. Somebody else deleted.
Not certain why that is, but Stephen just heard you. So that if you want to participate in the meeting and you can't follow along, you could try to go to the Jitsi site. Are you familiar with that?
Negative.
Yeah, I just checked on the stream. It looks like it's working. You might try getting them to refresh.
Stephen will just check the YouTube live feed.
Okay.
The other, one thing I would suggest is maybe just trying to go out and then come back in.
Contact. Okay, sounds good.
Is there anybody else that's on the Dilworth frequency that is going to be participating in the OCARC club meeting? If so, come now.
Stephen, were you able to get the participants that were on the Dilworth?
Yeah, on Dilworth, I heard Martin, VE7MSS. I heard Chris, VE7EQM, who has joined us in Jitsi now, and VE7JWS. Chris, John.
Right, and then Martin, I guess, was having trouble with the YouTube live feed.
Yeah, I pulled up the feed here, and it plays for me, so I'm not sure. He could try refreshing and see if he came like at 6 o'clock before I started streaming, it probably wouldn't automatically play without refreshing the page.
Yeah,
All right.
I noticed an anomaly with that. When I go to the page, it says live, but it says video unavailable. Watch this video on YouTube, and I have to click through to YouTube before I can watch it.
So do you just click on the center of the screen, Ian?
Yeah, I just click where it says, hang on, just to confirm, it says video unavailable. Watch this video on YouTube, and watch this video is a link. You click on that, and it opens up YouTube directly, and then I see the live feed.
Oh, that's strange. You're using some weird browser like Safari?
Yes.
I had the same thing here on Firefox.
E7HHS.
Stephen, is that what is Martin's call sign again?
Mike Sierra Sierra, VE7 Mike Sierra Sierra, I believe. And I can confirm, you do get that weird video unavailable thing in Firefox.
7MSS. This is Victor Alpha 7 Romeo Golf Mike.
Go ahead.
Martin, supposedly when you get to the YouTube Live page, there's an arrow or something that you can click that will activate that screen.
Okay, I can try.
Okay, give me a call back if that's not working for you, and maybe we'll give you better instructions. Or maybe Stephen can give you better instructions because he seems to be able to do that.
That's what he's seeing right now, I believe.
By the video only.
Yeah, I can confirm that's what I see. But when I click on that, watch this video, it
click
works.
says, watch this video on YouTube.
Yes.
Click on that.
Okay, I'm in.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
Oh, apparently everybody is going to see that. I am not seeing it in Chrome because I'm logged into YouTube. So I definitely didn't disable playback.
Okay, well, I think that Martin was the only one that wasn't getting through, so I think we're good.
Yep, I see we've gained one other person in Jitsi here. I'm just going to go through the list to make sure I've got everybody.
I think it was John that just joined.
John's been in and out, but he is monitoring on the Dilworth frequency.
Dylan.
Yep, so based on my list here, we've got 15 people in the Jitsi room and 2 people on RF via the Dilworth repeater, meaning we do have a quorum.
I'm impressed as all get out.
And Neil just joined us. We have even more than a quorum.
Well, Mr. President, blow us away.
You mean I got to learn to press the space bar and talk? Did that come through all right, Rob?
Oh yeah, you're 5'9".
Oh, good. Well, I was just, Stephen, the minutes that you sent out were from February. I guess the sort of meeting we had just on Dilworth the last time really wasn't recorded at all, eh?
No, we didn't take minutes for that informal get-together. I don't think we made a quorum even at that point.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess everybody should have got the minutes of the last meeting. Anybody that didn't? Okay, the silence being deafening. Let's go on. Rob, can you tell us how many members we got now?
Yeah, we have 73 members in the club.
Okay, and I guess are we secure enough to do finances?
I believe so. It's not going out over the repeater. It is simply on the Jitsi room that is being servered, or the server is within our control. So if this isn't secure, I don't know what is. So I will go ahead and give you the brief numbers. We have, as you're all aware, we've been on kind of a spending freeze. That means that the finances haven't changed much since our last official meeting. But I can tell you that as of today, we have $19.09 in the gaming account, and nothing has changed since February there because we spent it all. And on the operating side, we have $4,611.83 in the bank.
And that difference is basically from paying the insurance policy, wasn't it? From the 5,000 before?
Yeah, the insurance, the only amounts that have come out of the bank account since our last meeting were already properly reflected in the budget, so no motion was necessary to make those payments.
Okay, sounds good. I suppose, let me see. The obvious way to do this otherwise would be to say, is anybody a contrary?
Victor Alpha 7 Romeo Golf Mike. If there's anybody monitoring on the Dilworth repeater that is contrary to the motion for approval of the financial report and I guess the minutes, please come now.
Okay, I don't see any hands up and to the contrary on what I see of my screen either. So, okay, we'll go on for that.
Do we need a motion to approve either of those, Stephen?
Normally we do have a motion, and I think Brian sort of made one there, looking for anyone contrary.
Okay, and whatever motions he's made, I'll second.
Sounds good to me.
It was trying to see who's in the affirmative is a little difficult. So we'll do it backwards to that, and I think that'll work out just as well. Have we had any correspondence, Stephen?
I have not received any correspondence, no.
And I can advise that in my collection of the mails, the only thing that we might have received subsequent to the meeting in February was, I think, maybe one person who was doing a membership renewal. But that's going by memory. That's a 2-month-old deal, but nothing of significance has come in the mail.
Do you, would this be a good time for you to have a word about the trying to use PayPal for to re-up?
Yeah. Last year, Stephen put together the system so that we could do membership renewals by PayPal. And I have in my inbox a link that Stephen has provided me that can be used to renew your membership via PayPal. What I am going to do in the next day or so is actually try it out, phone membership, and presuming that all goes according to plan, and I fully expect that it will, then I will send an email out to all members with that link and with the instructions for doing a PayPal renewal. The only caveat that I would make is that we're only going to, just because there are some complications in the system, the only memberships that we're going to renew via PayPal are regular members, both with and without the an RAC membership. So if you've got a spouse membership or a student membership, those we will still do outside of the PayPal system, just because there are some complications associated with that, and we want to do the easy stuff first.
Okay, so that'll be when it's all functioning properly, you'll just send out the email and we can work from there.
Yeah, everybody will get their own personal email. This is only for membership renewals. It's not for new members right now. So we have all your email addresses, and you'll get your email with a link to click through to renew your membership. The data that we're going to collect on this, there are screens for a whole bunch of data, but as I understand it, and Stephen can correct me if I'm wrong, the only information that you have to fill out, you can fill out as much as you like, but the only information that you have to fill out would be your name, your call sign, and your RAC number if you're claiming the RAC discount.
When you talk about other information, it's like wife and address and phone numbers and things like that.
That is correct. And then Gordon would like to speak.
I would suggest that maybe you solicit addresses once again, because in monitoring the club Gmail account, I noticed numerous ones have bounced. I don't know the reasons for them, but it would be a good opportunity to secure or verify email addresses for all members.
I can do that. Although I can tell you, Gordon, that the ones that bounce, I've had an experience with some of them bouncing, and I think it's more the nature of the content of the email and the fact that we're sending a whole bunch out on blank carbon copies. What I'll do is I'll send it out, and then I'll carefully monitor to see if any bounce. And if any do bounce, then I will send them a specific and individual email. And then I believe all of our email addresses are good because the bouncing tends to be somewhat random. So it's not the same person every time.
My thought was that perhaps email addresses have changed and some people may not be getting them, although that email address we have is valid. It's they're not monitoring it. So it was just an opportunity to update our address book.
Well, certainly ask. We'll certainly ask for it. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess there's no, there hasn't been any tech, or has there been a tech committee meeting in the last month or so?
I believe there was one held on Jitsi. Is that correct, John? John Clark?
Yeah, I believe we did have one meeting. The main takeaway from that was the discussion on do we replace the Honda generator that was stolen? And the group basically decided not to replace it at this time. And if we did go for a gaming grant, we could always add that in. And if we did get another generator, we would not get a 3000 model, but we'll get a 2000 that can run as 2000 units, or we get the kit that we could join the two together in a case where we need the higher current availability.
It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Because, I mean, the grab and go kits we have, what sort of wattage would they draw?
They're 2000 watts a piece, and if you marry two of them together, you get 30 something or 3000 something. So the general discussion was we really don't need something of the size of a 3000 watt generator.
No, and it would be a lot lighter to pack around too.
Yeah, we talked about all those good items.
I guess we'd have to go to, we'd have to stay with an inverter type anyway, though, wouldn't we?
Yeah, if we stay with the Honda 2000 and we get a unit that can marry up you can tie the 2000 units together, the two different methods, economical way, and there's a more expensive way, which is actually the better way of doing it. And we could have a lot larger wattage being available. I think also with the more expensive way, you can get 240 volts out of it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, John. Is E7ENP on here?
Don't see them.
Haven't seen him tonight.
We could try giving
Okay,
a call on
and-
Peter if you have something specific to inquire about.
Well, this morning, I think it was this morning, or at some point, I asked him, or he mentioned about, we were discussing changing out a unit at Big White, and then Big White shut their system down. So I'm just wondering, is it possible to get up there in the summertime, or where is this thing?
Okay, I can answer that a little bit because I'm familiar with it. The is at the top of the Gem Lake chair at Big White. Now, right now, it is not possible. It's not practical to go up because you probably need a snow machine as there's still snow up there. But once summer comes and everything is melted out, I believe you can get up there. So I don't know what the appropriate time is, but that might be the time to actually go up. Beyond that, I'm not sure of the logistics of that. Maybe somebody else can chime in.
In other words, we don't know whether it's a vehicle road or an ATV. We can solve the problem one way or the other anyway.
We've been up there with trucks before. It is accessible to the top. That isn't an issue.
Did you get that, Brian?
I got it in essence. In other words, it's accessible.
The other benefit, Brian, is there's a lot more people around up at Big White in terms of staff compared to the good old days where they pretty much shut down the operation, but now they're running mountain bike operations, so should be a few more people around as well.
Yeah, I wondered whether they ran chairs during the summer. I think they did on weekends at one point last year, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they're running even more so now because they've really tried to establish their mountain biking operation. So maybe not gem side, but certainly in the village and for staff, there should be quite a few more people around in the summertime than there used to be.
Okay. Yeah, it's I just actually one of my cabin neighbors at McCullough was just saying that he tried to get to Canyon Lake and ran into too much snow with his quad. So yeah, it's going to be a day or two.
Well, John, Brian, I don't know if you're interested or not, but you can go onto the Big White website, and most days you can actually see the snow levels at the top of the Gem Lake chair because one of their webcams gives you that, so you'll know when the snow's gone.
Okay, I guess I think Tom was going to look after the issue anyway, wasn't he?
Yep. I think Chris is involved in that as well, so although he may not admit it.
Yeah, I'll probably be helping out with that.
I know we drugged that right out of you, didn't we?
Yeah, we'll probably be going up in August, I would think. That's usually a good time to go up there.
Which is it that's not functioning? Is it the 2-meter radio or what is it that's not working right?
2-meter repeater receiver is not working properly.
Oh, we need to get that fixed so that John can have his snow races in early December, you mean?
Yeah, well, we'll have to take a look at that. We have a spare unit that's operational, so we should be able to get it going.
I would like to see Big White get coverage into the village.
Yeah, wasn't there, was it a second repeater or was it a change in antennas or what were we gonna do to solve that problem? I think, Rob, you were trying to figure it out last winter, weren't you?
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of talk about it, and everybody seems to think that they can put another a repeater or a radio in or near the village and connect it up to the big white repeater gem. The problem is that between gem and the rest of there's a mountain, and it's pretty hard to get signals through the mountain, so you have to go around it or over it or something.
Okay. All right. I guess we beat that one to death. Anybody got any other things on committee reports? I wonder if the fact that should have elections next month that comes up as a committee report, and whether or not we should. Rob, you and I are the ones that are our term is up, and whether or not we should perhaps think about expanding the board as well, or the executive.
Well, I think if anybody is interested in sitting on the executive, you should make yourself known. It's a coveted position and something that everybody in the club should be aspiring to.
Am I hearing a train again?
Dog whistle, maybe.
Anyway, it's food for thought, and an email to the secretary or the president is easy enough to figure out. So if you'd like to put in or run for election, we call it election anyway. Okay, the only other thing I had was Cedar Creek, and I didn't get to stay long enough because I had family issues at the time. So, can anybody recall how it worked out or how many we had there?
I missed some of that, Brian.
The education day we had at Cedar Creek. I just wondered. I know at one point when I was there that the room was pretty crowded, so I guess we had a fairly good turnout.
I certainly was there, and I thought we had a really good turnout. Interestingly, out of that education day, we renewed a couple of memberships, and I think everybody enjoyed themselves and enjoyed the coffee and the donuts.
Okay, so it's something else. I don't. I have to admit that I haven't played much with even trying to get my HF system to work. So I don't know whether how much whether there's another contest day or something like that coming up that we should look at sort of doing the same sort of thing. Okay, silence being deafening. What else have we got?
I was just checking the dates. I think the next major event that's coming up would be Field Day, and I think I think they have a modified rule set, but I would have to look at them.
last year, I think we joined Vernon, didn't we? At somebody's place out in Armstrong. We didn't really have one of our own. Greg, go ahead.
I was just wondering, that long wire antenna there that we fiddled with on that day up there at the clubhouse, was it ever repaired permanently, or is it still in a temporary mode there?
To that,
Go ahead,
unfortunately, I won't
Zed.
attend that event.
I don't believe anything further has been done, Greg.
Okay, I just wondered if anybody wanted to.
I think Doug VZ is trying to get in. I don't know if you can come in on Jitsi if you're having a problem with signal, or you want to try it on Doe. Or
Well, let's try it here. Just to confirm what was already stated, I don't think there's any permanent repair for that antenna.
Repeater.
Just the repeater finish. We need to do something where we get somebody out there that can climb in the trees and the attachments to the tree, because all of those have to be repaired. There's old ropes there.
Okay, well, that answers my question.
All we got to do is figure out who's going to do something about it. I guess wasn't it Fred that said that he had some line that was UV resistant or something?
Yes, Fred has mentioned that he's got some Dacron rope, but I think he has underestimated the amount that we're going to need to fix that properly.
How much are we going to need?
I am really terrible at estimating measurements, but he says he has one full spool, which I believe is about 500 feet, but we've got multiple halyards that need to be replaced there, and some of those trees are quite high, so we might want to go out there sometime with a tape and try and measure it out somewhat, but I would guess we need more than Fred has to do it properly.
500 feet is a lot.
Yeah, the problem is that many of those trees are going to require at least 50 feet because you have to put it up, through the branch or whatever it is onto a pulley up there, and then be able to pull it back down, because a lot of them you can see where there's hanks of rope hanging, 15, 20 feet above the ground, the ones that have pulled it back up. So that's, I know it's a waste in that respect, but there's not much. You want to be able to let it up and down if you have to.
It depends. If we have a club member that's doing the climbing for free and we're not renting any equipment, then we just go until we run out of rope, and it doesn't really matter. But if we need to rent equipment, we want to make sure we have enough rope on hand.
Yeah, we will be able to set it up so that you can raise and lower it without having to climb the tree every time, don't you?
The current configuration is just the long line is tied to the trees with a piece of rope that's starting to break down with UV rays. There are no pulleys that I can remember up there.
There are pulleys, but they are on the antenna line. So there's a rope to the fixed portion of the pulley, and then the pulley runs on the steel cable that makes up the antenna.
Yeah, so it's basically the line is up over a branch, and then just pulled from the ground to raise the line back up again, isn't it?
Yeah, in most cases, and I think a lot of the ones that we're concerned about now have pretty much grown into the tree, or just they're so UV damaged they're barely holding on.
Oh yeah, I never replace all of them.
So a key item is, do we have anyone that loves climbing high in trees?
I don't think you'll find anybody here.
With you, Gord?
I do recall one of about 2 years ago. I think it was one of the fellows that went through the class. Stuck up his hand and said, "Yeah, I climb trees."
Yeah, but we haven't seen him since.
That's what happens when you climb trees.
That would be Matthew March. Yeah, we could probably get Matt to do it. That probably wouldn't be that difficult. His only real reason for getting ham radio was for search and rescue, so he was never likely to be someone who paid club dues anyway. So, but he's usually more than willing to help out with things, so we could probably get him to do that and at no cost.
What's his name, Darcy?
Matthew March. He's Angela's husband.
Sorry, I didn't copy that.
Matthew March.
Okay, thanks.
Darcy, do you happen to have any idea how many actual hams are in search and rescue now?
Yeah, I could probably figure it out. Give me a couple minutes, but it's going to be significant. It's going to be 30, give or take, maybe a bit more.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That you know, it comes out. The fact that search and rescue being used in a repeater really doesn't matter because there's so many of them that are actually amateurs anyway. Yeah, I think Darcy's busy figuring this out. So just looking at the listing here. Oh, I know, committee reports. John Clark, do you want to give us an update on what's happening with the web and Facebook, etc.?
Looks like we actually lost John just now here for a second.
Yes, I had to just leave for personal matter. I'm back. Was there a question for me?
Yeah, I just wondered if you wanted to give an update on web and Facebook and stuff.
Sure, I'll give update. Hasn't been as many posts and updates to the website as I've been receiving some or lower amount of updates and info to go. I've done some updates from Doug with information on area repeaters. That's been updated. On Facebook, we're getting more and more likes. It's not a huge number, but is doing quite well. And so far, it's been going quite well. Haven't heard of any complaints or anything. And we are getting people that are liking any of our posts, which is always good. It moves itself up within Facebook, and nothing else really to change other than I just noticed the other day, Stephen and Darcy, it looked like we have another website core update. I haven't dug in to see if it's important or not. You guys may want to take a look at that.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was creating the live page. I will try and take a look at that this week.
Thank you, Stephen. One question I do have, I think Darcy, you were going to write or create a set of instructions for people to the website for LDAP, and I volunteered to help out in entering the people if I could. Any status on that?
The exact same place it was when I said I would do it. I haven't had an opportunity to start it yet.
Okay, no problem. Just thanks for the update.
You guys got all this inconvenience of actually working for a living.
Brian, they may put you back to work.
Yeah, yeah. Let me tell you, this place it keeps me quite amused as it is. Okay, I guess well, we've pretty well covered anything in your old business as well, unless somebody else has anything else.
Brian, I'm just going to do a quick call onto the repeater and just see if anybody wants to contribute something at this juncture.
This is Victor Alpha 7 Romeo Golf Mike for the OCARC club meeting. Is there anybody on the repeater who is a club member that would like to contribute something to the meeting at this time?
Welcome to the VE7HOL repeater. Thank you for identifying.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right. The next thing is any new business.
I'd like to just raise one thing. I'll pick now as the time to do it. Is there a consensus that the format that we're using for tonight's meeting is a reasonable way to conduct the annual general meeting at the end of June? Is there anybody who thinks there's a better way to do it? Go ahead, Gord. Go ahead, GFH. Gord.
I think he just likes putting his hand up.
Oh, well, you know, so do a lot of people. Anyways, so hearing no great loud hues and cries of dissent, and the fact, most importantly, that we actually got a quorum at this using this method, I guess I'm going to suggest that this be both the platform and the procedure that we follow for the AGM.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
I hope springs eternal today that we're going to have it opened up enough so that we can actually meet. But with our luck, of course, by the time we get to that point, the fire hall will say, no, not in our place, you're not. So I guess this is our best bet at this time. Other than as I say, everybody could have their own tree out here.
Gord, your hand
Yeah,
is
I don't
up.
expect the fire hall to invite us back probably this year.
For what it's worth, I was talking to Bruce Smith today, and the general conversation got around to the subject of high water, and I would agree with Stephen's comment, not likely we're going to get back there.
I don't know, on Castanet, I saw how our city hall over here on the Republic of West Kelowna was holding public meetings there, and they were using all of the LePage ice rink to space people out. Maybe we could talk to them and see if we can't hold our meetings in the LePage arena there.
No.
Okay.
All right. I take it. I don't know whether we need to go to a motion on that or whether to just, okay, it seems to be by consensus, so we might as well. We'll plan on doing that for the end of June, having the AGM done on virtually.
I think there
it's
were.
an option to me. So do we just want to see if there's anyone opposed? Because we had a seconder.
You were broken up, Stephen, there. I didn't quite hear everything.
Oh, sorry. I said it sounded like a motion to me because we had a seconder. Do we want to just see if there's anyone opposed and go from there?
Nothing on the radio either,
You would hear it if there was.
Yeah, I guess so. I had to turn mine right down because there was too much racket.
I think we have approval. I'm feeling that.
Okay, thank you, one and all. Well, I guess we got down to that point. Is there anything else anybody wants to discuss?
The only thing I was going to mention is Jitsi does not want to play with my iPad, I'm going to say. I can do Zoom on my iPad, but it won't do Jitsi. However, my smartphone works Jitsi rather nicely, so I don't know. It's just one of those little enigmas of technology.
Just out of curiosity, Greg, is your smartphone an iPhone or an Android?
It's an iPhone 10, and it works nicely with it. But the iPad's, I'm going to say, probably at least 8 years old, and I think that's where the problem lies. It's too old.
Are you using the Jitsi Meet app or are you using the web browser on the iPad?
I was trying to load up the app.
It may work with your Safari. Supposedly it does work with Safari.
Okay, well, maybe the next coffee meet, I'll fire up the iPad and see if I can get it to function in the manner to which we become accustomed.
We look forward to your iPad participation.
Yeah, it's a little breakup. I don't know. I just had a Zoom conference with 74, I think, on BC Tree Fruits this afternoon, and it broke up occasionally too. So I guess nothing's perfect, especially unless you get the most high tech computers, I guess.
And connectivity, Brian. That seems to be the answer too. I got 300 symmetrical into this place, and I'm on the hard wire right now.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't know what vintage this laptop is because being a cheap person that I am, of course I bought a refurbished one that must have been a corporate one at one point because it came with the Windows 10 Pro.
Brian, you're just fine with that. I wouldn't worry about it at all. It's working just great.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I guess it's that time of day. Then, anything further from anyone?
Yes, I'd like to suggest that, or I'll ask, is it necessary for a motion from the general membership to thinking of applying for a gaming action again?
Gord, you broke up. Could you repeat that, please?
Is it necessary that there be a motion from the general membership re a gaming application, or can that be handled at the board level?
That we have the or the standard operating procedures in place for that. I suspect we would need a similar motion to what we had for the last gaming grant to ignore those operating procedures and proceed differently.
Is the time or place to do it, or do you want to just leave it with the board?
How about making the motion?
I personally do not have time to prepare the application. If we have someone prepared to do the paperwork, we probably should make a motion to empower the board to proceed with that.
You want to make the motion, Gordon?
I think Alan is. His hand is up.
It's my understanding that Rob is prepared to work on it, and I'll give him a hand with it as well. So having said that, if Rob gives us a nod, I will still make the motion.
Okay, I'll second the motion. How's that, Gord?
Well, that should indicate a good involvement. And we got witnesses. I'll sit Chris on you if you renege.
Anybody got any discussion on the matter?
Just to be clear, Gord, your motion is to suspend our standard operating procedures and allow the board to proceed with a gaming grant application?
Well, if that's the route you want to go, or I'll set that aside for a moment and put a motion forward to dispense or just eliminate that SOP. Your pleasure.
I believe we need to do a notice of motion to change those.
Okay, whatever you're recorded, whatever you have.
I'm sure we said we would suspend it for this application.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's definitely what I heard.
Well, your ears are so much younger than mine, Ian.
Not that much younger.
Okay, I take it that we'll do this by the rather than say all in favor, we'll say anybody contrary. Hearing none, and declare the motion carried.
Alan, did you want to say something?
No, I was just playing with my hand.
I thought I could get him committed for something.
But if it doesn't involve stars, he's not talking about it.
So when is your star term up, Alan?
I'll probably be finished in 2021. I got one more year after this one, and then they can't elect me again because there's only 3 years allowed.
Oh, okay, that's too bad, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we need a rule like that.
It's
I'll
not.
second that motion.
Only for the president.
That's true.
If you're not elected, you go in by acclamation. There is a difference.
I thought you were going in for life term, Brian.
It's sort of like being secretary. That's a life sentence too, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'll be doing this for a while.
Sorry, I sort of cut you off, Stephen. What was that again?
Oh, I said I think I'll be doing this for a while.
Oh, I hope so. Okay. Once again, is there anything further that anybody has concerns about, wants to speak about?
Brian, I'll just make another final announcement on the repeater, and just in case there's something else that people want to add in.
This is Vector Alpha 7 Romeo Golf Mike. Just letting you know that we're just looking for final comments or questions for the club meeting that's being held on Jitsi and this repeater.
May I adjourn this meeting?
I was going to ask Greg if you wanted to make the motion. Yeah. All right, same thing. Anybody? We have a motion to adjourn. Is there any objections?
I'll second.
I didn't hear any, but before we all drop off, I just want to say, please do us the immense favor of showing up on the 25th of June. Everything will be the same in terms of the Jitsi address and the meeting address and everything else. So we look forward greatly to your participation a month from now.
Good night, all.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Very successful meeting in with trying technical issues. I think everyone pulled together, did well.
Good job all around.
And I want to thank Stephen and Darcy for getting the back channel working the way it worked.